Hey up guys, Leeds Lad Loves Coins here. Welcome back to the channel. Right, let's get into this. Today we're looking at video number 2 of my Grading for Beginners series, and this is looking at proof coins. The good news is I appear, who knows what will happen, I appear to have solved my sound issues and solved my zooming issues or going out of focus. So anyway, fingers crossed, we'll be all set. So Grading for Beginners, video number 2, proof coins. So let's get into it. So what is a proof? Well, pure and simply, a proof is a coin that has been minted for the collector's market. The intention of the coin was never to go into circulation, purely and simply for the collector's market. The coin itself has been struck by highly refined and polished dies to give the coin their special reflective appearance, if you would. So I'm going to quickly show you a proof coin here, and you can see how proof coins just stand out from circulation strike. They're never ever designed to go into circulation. However, some of the earlier proofs absolutely did, because especially in America, the dollar proof coins and the pennies, quite valuable back in the day. I mean, it bought you quite a bit. It had good spending power, so they did appear go into circulation. If they've gone into circulation, they're still a proof coin. They will always be a proof coin, because proof denotes a specific strike. So even if they've gone into circulation and they are worn, the fields have been scuffed up and marked, it will always be a proof coin. However, it will be designated an impaired proof. So what are we looking at? I'm going to put that down now. I'm just going to talk for a couple of seconds. I'm breaking this video down into various areas, and we're particularly focusing on the Sheldon scale. So if you cast your mind back to the last video, hopefully you watched it. If you didn't, go back and watch the first video, Grading for Beginners, and we were talking about the 4 areas of grading. So the first area is surface preservation, and this is what we call for technical grading. The importance of surface preservation is the obverse, which is this side of the coin, represents, so I'm led to believe, approximately 60% of the overall grade. So the obverse is massively important. There's one of these anomalies in the game. Anybody who's graded coins or looked at coins, I hope you agree with me here, that the reverse always appears to be superior to the obverse. Now, I could never figure that out. I was with a dealer friend of mine. He's a collector as well, but he's a dealer. We had this discussion, and he told me that he'd been informed years ago that the reason why the reverse always appears to be better than the obverse is because back in the day, and this goes for circulation strikes as well as proof strikes, but back in the day, people used to clean the Queen's head. They'd give it a rub because it was disrespectful to have a dirty Queen's head or King's head. So they would give it a light rub, and that's why, or at least this is what he's told me, and it stands up, as far as I'm concerned, why the reverse is always superior to the obverse. Now, so surface preservation, absolutely the key. Going back here, the head, whether it's on USA coins or UK coins, that's my speciality. So that's all I'm talking about. The head is called the device, yeah, and these blank spaces all around are called fields. So we've got the device, which is the horse and the letter and everything, and then the blank spaces behind are fields. And the fields are massively, massively, massively important when we're grading. So devices and fields. What we're really interested in on these coins, especially what we call modern proof coins. So for me, because I collect USA coins as well as British coins, I consider modern coins from 1960 forward to the present day. Classic coins I consider pre-1964. For British coins, I pretty much break it down pre-decimal, so 1970 backwards, classic. When we start getting to pre-1950 and backwards, historic, then 1970 moving forward, modern coins. Okie dokie. So the second aspect of grading is strike. For modern coins, strike and proof coins is not really an issue, never has been and never will be. The reason for that is because they're specially prepared dies, highly polished. The coins are struck several times under high pressure and they're handled individually. So the coins don't fall into hoppers and are transported around in bags. It's struck, taken off the planchette, the struck planchette, and safely placed into storage. So things like bag marks, scuff scratches from coins hitting coins when they come off the press should never really be an issue with proof coins. Also, weak strikes, again, because they are specially prepared, should never be an issue. So what we're really looking at is the surface preservation, hairlines, scuffs, scratches, because they do occur through handling. Surface reflection. What is surface reflection and how do I determine that? So I'm going to show you let's move in here a bit. This is a proof coin. It's an early proof coin, 1927, and an absolute beauty. Yeah. There we go. But you can see, compared to modern coins, how dull the fields are. What I like to do is take an implement for surface reflection and move it in front of the coin itself. A lot of these coins, you can see there on the obverse a certain amount of reflection, yeah? So pretty nice coin this, as it happens. I have this raw in my flooring collection, and this would probably hit a proof 64, proof 65. the surface reflection, or the surface reflection, will absolutely determine a high degree of the grade. What you also need to be looking at is focal areas. So like down the cheek, the hairline, up here, areas that draw your eyes to them. Look out for wear and small marks, nicks, scratches, because it will absolutely deter from the grade. Now that is a beautiful coin, but completely different to more modern proofs. That for now, so this is 1937. This is a proof florin. Again, this is out of my raw collection. Die preparation has now obviously moved on a tad, and you can see I'll put a pen or an object in front just to take a look at how reflective the fields are, and you can see they're absolutely stunning. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful coin. So that's what I do. Now, also, when you're looking at proof coins, you know, if you look at circulation strikes, you'll see, especially Americans, they like to rotate to get the cartwheel effect. That's how they check how reflective the fields are through and if the fields have been tampered with, i.e. dipped excessively, what have you. That cartwheel effect. Well, proof coins aren't going to give you that. They're not designed that way. They're more mirrored, reflective fields. So the only way you can see that reflection, the only way to look at proof coins is straight on. Don't rotate them. Yeah. Because this is how the graders look at them, straight on. I like to look down my coins to see if I can see any hairlines. But for grading purposes, look straight on, yeah? Don't rotate, straight on. And all you need is 5 times magnification. So we'll move on again. Now this particular coin, again, die preparation technology has moved on massively, massively. 2002. Look at this. It is like a mirror. But that surface, that strike surface of the fields is absolutely so delicate. The slightest little wipe or movement, you'll get a hairline. You can see a couple of hairlines to the right of Queen Elizabeth's face and just up above her brow. So that would never get a 70, ever in a month of Sundays. However, one thing you need to take into consideration as far as die preparation of proof coins, modern proofs primarily are going to get grades between proof, that's PF, proof 68 to proof 70. Modern, that's because the technology is such, how they're looked after, the dies. Expect all modern coinage, so I'd say from 1980 forwards, yeah. It's beautiful, isn't it? Sorry, I'm looking at it. This is also a Piedfort, which is a different designation, you can see. Double thickness. Beautiful coin. Right, so look straight onto the coin. We're looking at the luster there, the how reflective the fields are, and the last area to look at for proof coins is eye appeal. Now, Silver absolutely will tone, regardless whether it's proof or not. It will tone. But for me, toning on proof coins detracts from the beauty of the coin. I love toning on circulation strikes, but for me, proofing, and in my experience, proofing can damage your grade. So what are the grades in proof coins? Let's look at it realistically. Because of how proof coins are produced, the specially prepared dies, individual handling, etc., you really can expect proof coins to start around proof 63 all the way up to proof 70, PF70. In the earlier, so pre-1964, going back, a lot of the coins were proof 60 to proof 63. Then round about 64, technology took a bit of a leap, and we really can look at proof coins, as far as the majority is concerned, in grading from proof 64 to proof 66. Yeah. For gem grades, we're looking at proof 66 to 67. And like I said, they're modern coins. From really, die technology took a massive leap in the middle of the 70s. And we'll have a look at that in just a second. Took a massive leap forward. So modern coins, you can expect 95%, and the statistics back this up, 95% of modern proof coins will hit between proof 68 and proof 70. So those coins coming out of the mint today, whether they're American Silver Eagles, whether they're Britannias, or what have you, commemorative, special commemoratives, they're going to hit between proof 68 and proof 70. Classic coins, so what I call the pre-decimal, it's really, really, really difficult because of the die preparation and the die technology of the time, how they handle coins. 67 is a massive, massive, massive grade. And then beyond that, so the earlier coins, so like 1927 backwards, really you're talking predominantly in the proof 65 backwards grade. Getting higher grade coins, few and far between. So we've covered a whole bunch of stuff there. Let's just have a look at some of the die designations. So I'm just going to zoom out here because what I'm more interested in is the not the coin itself, but the designation. So you can see here on the first level of proof designation, we've just got the PF design, proof. Now for the 1951 or 67 is, like I said, is a massive grade. It really is. But what all advanced collectors are looking for are the strikes that are the closest to coming off the press. And I'll show you that in just a second. So that's a proof designation. Excuse me. I'll jump on another one here. Here's an absolute stunner of a coin. This is a Jefferson nickel, and it's again the proof designation, 1964, proof 69. The die preparation was not that thorough, although it was good, but not on the level of die preparations today. So to get more than a proof designation, very, 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 very difficult. And to get 70, well, The next designation is cameo. So we've gone from proof to cameo. The state of the dies will determine the level of frostiness on the coin itself. I'd mentioned to you that the dies are all specially prepared, and the devices are highly polished to create this frosty finish. As the coins are struck, that frostiness wears off, and you actually have collectors who do put together collections of die preservation, or should I say die deterioration, from the highest to the lowest. So we've got the proof, where there's absolutely no frostiness whatsoever. If I get a proof cameo in this coin, 69, it's worth money. So that's a cameo. Also something to remember. To get a cameo designation, both sides need to be cameo. Yeah, both sides. So that's moving up. We're moving on here. So this is 1980. I mentioned to you that the die preparation and the die technology took leaps and bounds. Here's a proof 70, which is the highest grade coin. We're looking at the Sheldon scale, so we're looking at proof 60 to proof 70. I'm not interested in proof 60, 61, 62 because to me they're impaired proofs. They're damaged in some way, scratched, scuffed. So, but here we go, the next ultra cameo. So this would have been one of the first coins off the press. Let's have a look and see if we can determine the difference in the frostiness. Not a lot in this example, to tell you the truth, but I think you can see the difference in the reverse. Pretty damn good. So in the proof designations, we go from proof strike to proof cameo to proof ultra cameo. There is another coin designation that you will see in there, and that's this. It's called proof like, PL, if you see that designation. Again, this is not a circulation strike. It isn't designed for circulation. It's not a proof strike, but they are specially prepared dies for these particular coins. So that's proof like. I hope I'm not confusing you. That's cupro nickel. Yeah. You've got variances in between. So you've got the various grades, so it might be proof 67, whatever, but we talked about eye appeal. Yeah. The eye appeal is in the cameo, the ultra cameo, and how the particular coin looks. But also, let's have a look here. Here we've got a coin. You can see it's got a cameo there, but no cameo on the reverse. So this did not get a cameo designation. However, they did give it a star, which is for eye appeal. And they probably gave that because of the strong cameo on the obverse. I know it's a minefield, but that's the way it goes. So we're moving on from cupro nickel and silver coins now. Yeah, we've looked at coins all the way up to proof 70. Here's some lovely English crowns. The difference between a proof 69 and a proof 70, to mine and your eyes, is absolutely so minuscule. I just can't determine. We all hope that we get a proof 70. We're all looking for perfection. But if everything was perfect, there would be no value in having that level of perfection, would there? So here we've got a proof 70 ultra cameo, proof 69 ultra cameo, the difference being blah, I don't know. Now, if you look here, just by the tail, there's a little dot. That could be lint. It could just be a speck of dust. I don't know. But the grader picked that up when he looked at it. For big coins like this, they will just look at the coin. They won't use magnification. They'll use magnification if they see something, so they want to know if it's a scratch or a hairline. But they'll just simply look at this coin. And remember, I'll tell you, to look at Cameo, just look straight onto the coin. Straight onto the coin. We can all tilt in the light to get a better Cameo appearance and use special photography. But when you're looking at your coins to grade, look straight down on the coin. And again, we've talked about this reflection. Yeah. Beautiful. So that's one of the little tricks that I use. I'm going to quickly move on now before wrapping up, because we've got proofs, bronze and copper coins as well, and the different designations. So here's a proof. Yeah. And this has got an RB designation, you can see there. What does that stand for? That stands for red brown. So there's 3 levels of description. There's brown, which is when the coin has lost all of its original mint luster, redness, and it might have toned heavily, whatever the case may be. So there's no original luster there. It'll get brown. It's still mint state. It's still proof. Yeah, it hasn't been circulated, but it's red brown. And do you remember how we talked about the state of the die? Yeah. And advanced coin collectors were looking for the coins that are the, if you would, first runs. Those coins that have come off the dies when they're nice and fresh, so we get the best strikes, Cameo-like appearances. Well, it's the same in copper and bronze coins. So brown, red brown, and the one that everybody's looking for is this, the red designation. RD. This coin, and what a beauty. You can see that, proof 66. Crazy. That's a 67 anyway, but we're not arguing. So here's a farthing. There's a proof. That's the closest to coming off the press. So here's the same coin in a proof 64. You see the difference in the fields. Yeah, you see that, how red it is? This is highly, highly, highly desirable for high-level coin collectors. And that's what you're going to be looking at. So in bronze and copper coinage, we're looking at brown designation, red-brown designation, and red. Here's a penny to wrap up. This got a red-brown designation, but I don't know how, but again, and look at the beautiful colours. Maybe because of the toning, but these coins do tone beautifully. Wow, we covered a hell of a lot there. I hope you got something out of this. Anything, please leave comments. Let me know what you think. I'm always up for suggestions. If you have little tricks where you're looking at field reflection, the reflectivity of coins, if you have a little trick that you have up your sleeve, let me know. Tell me what you think. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. Next week, we're going to look at circulated coinage, and we'll get more, obviously, into market grading, what I call market grading. Not technical grading, which is proof coins, but market grading. Right, Leeds Lad Loves Coins. I've definitely bored you long enough. Hasta luego.